let's see. I got Devin. Devin got all three. Devin 84 over 525 for the second one. Alex 4 over 25. Curtis 4 over 25. Haya 4 over 25. Yeah. Okay. So you want to simplify that? For me, now what you can do is you can multiply across, right? 14 times 6, and then in the bottom 15 times 35, and then you simplify. But for me, it's easier to simplify with the smaller number. So for me, if it was me, I'll do like this. So the 14 and the 35. Let's talk about the 14 and the 35. 14, 35, you can divide into 7, right? So 14 divided into 7 give me 2. And then 35, what's left is divided by 7, what's left is 5. And then the 6 and the 15, the 6 and the 15, I can divide it by 3, right? So 6 divided by 3 give me 2 left up here. 15 divided by 3 is give me 5 down here. So 2 times 2 on the top is 4. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Or you can multiply across 14 times 6 over 15 times 35, and then you simplify it later, right? But it's kind of harder that way. Okay, Haya got 15 over 4 for the third one. Devin got 30 over 8. So maybe Devin, you want to simplify that too. Anyone else? Anyone else for the third one? Let's see. Alex 15 over 4. Okay. All right. So remember, you taught at 661, right? When you divide a fraction, you flip multiply. So you flip the second fraction, not the first one. So 12 over 10 times 25 over 8. And again, you can multiply across 12 times 25 over 10 times 8. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to simplify it first, right? And I leave it like this. I like it like this. So 12, and then the you can do 12 and the 10 if you want. 12, 10 is, oh yeah, you can do 12 and the 8. Yeah. Should I do 12, 10? I'll do 12 and 8. Doesn't matter. You can do 12 with the 10. Okay. 12 and 8, I can divide it by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 25 and 10. The reason I choose 12 and 8, 25 and 10, because they can reduce more than 12 and 10 and 25 and 8. Right? So 25 and 10, 25 divided by 5 is 5 up here. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, nothing I can do more, right? 3, 5, 2, 2, those are primes. So all I have to do is multiply them across. 3 times 5 is 15, and then 2 times 2 is 4. How you guys did it? How did you do it? Share with me. How do you do it? I just want to know how you do it. Do you do it like me, or you multiply the tops and multiply the bottom and then simplify at the end? Oh, okay, good, Haya. There's nothing wrong with doing what you do, whatever you do. But for me, it's easier this way. When I see the smaller number, I can reduce it better, right? Okay, so those are fractions. Those are fraction. It's called rational expression. It's fancy for fraction, right? So the definition of rational expression is the ratio of a polynomial, P over Q, where P and Q are polynomial. So these two guys right here, these are polynomial. Same thing with Q, is polynomial. Now, let me ask you a question. P is a polynomial, Q is a polynomial, but then Q must not be equal to what? This is something special about Q, because in the bottom, it's in the denominator. So what is the extra restriction I have to set for Q? Just use your common sense. Is there anything else I should say about Q? You know what? I don't hear you. I wonder if I muted myself before. Sometimes I muted my laptop. Okay, I'm unmute now. So maybe when you speak, I should be able to hear you now. Anyone? What is other restriction I should set for Q? What else I should say about Q? I'll give you a hint. You
For the
cannot.
denominator?
Yeah. P is fine. P is on the top. I don't care about P. But then the Q is a bit special. It's Q. Q take a bit more TLC. So think about when you have a fraction, what can you divide? You can divide by what? You can have what? You cannot have what in the denominator?
0.
Yeah, so what does that mean? In this case, Q should not be what? Cannot be equal to 0, right? Whatever Q is, it could be a very long polynomial like x cubed plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 1. And that whole thing cannot be equal to 0. Whatever is combined, it cannot be equal to 0, right? So that's the expression, rational expression. Now, the rational function, the only difference is you have f of x in front of it. So the rational function is denote f of x. A lot of time you're gonna see me write f of x equal p over q. So it's very similar to the rational expression, right? It's still p over q, but if you have f of x equal, you have an equation that's called function. Okay. So when I say expression or function, you should be able to distinguish what is what. So let me remind you again the expression. Let me make this red. Let me make the function red, and then the expression is blue. The rational expression is just p over q. There's no f of x, so there's no y equal. So the domain of f is all real number x such that the domain of f of x equal p over q. F of x equal p over q, and right here is all. Somebody call me in. Is all real number x such that q cannot be equal to 0. So everything except the bottom cannot be equal to 0, right? So let's find the domain of a rational function below. Again, when you see a fraction, you have to keep in mind that the denominator cannot be equal to 0. So because the denominator cannot be equal to 0, that means I'm gonna set x minus 1 is cannot be equal to 0, right? And then you solve for x. So x cannot be equal to what? Add 1 both sides. Add 1 both sides, right? So x cannot be equal to 1, right? Because you put 1 for x, 1 minus 1, that's 0, right? Again, remember we say the domain is, you said q is not equal to 0, right? Q is x minus 1 in this case. Why don't you guys try number 2 on your own, put in the chat for me. Taylor, Taylor, maybe you want to simplify, X squared minus 36 is a difference of 2 squared. So you may want to expand that. Okay, so Haya and Curtis got half of the answer. Devin, same thing, you got half of the answer. Alex, you got 2 answers. I'm proud of you, but you forgot to take a square root. Yeah. Devin, oh, good, Devin. She added another one. Okay, so, all right, let's see. So x squared, so this means you said x squared. Oh, I can't write this morning. You said x squared minus 36 is not equal. I'm gonna set it equal to 0 first. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and set equal to 0 first, and then I'll put a little slash later. So x squared minus 36 is the same thing as x squared minus 6 squared, right? Remember a. Let me remind you, a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times a plus b. Cloud that. Okay, so here I can, back to red. Here is, if I expand it into 2 binomial, will be x minus 6, x plus 6. Equal to 0, equal to 0. So that means what? That means what? That means x minus 6 equals to 0, or x plus 6 equals 0, right? If there are 2 numbers multiply and then at the end is equal to 0, either one of them has to be equal to 0 or both, right? So add 6 both sides, so I have x equals 6 here. Add negative 6 both sides, I have x equal negative 6 here. And at the end, you put, say, not equal to. Right. So x, everything but 6 and negative 6, right? So on the number line, maybe I'll show you how to graph it on the number line here. Here negative 6, and here is 6. And you say that it cannot be equal to it, right? I'm gonna put I'll put an X there, right? So your solution is everything up to negative 6, skip negative 6, go between negative 6 and 6, and then skip 6, then go from there to infinity, right? So if you write this in interval notation, it will be what? From negative infinity up to negative 6, parenthesis, because you don't want to include negative 6. And then union what? Some number between negative 6 and 6, right? Just not negative 6 and 6. And then union 6 to infinity. And the parenthesis, make sure that you don't include 6 or negative 6. Can someone tell me what is the interval notation for number 1? The one that x is not equal to 1. That should be easy. We can just speak it up on in the chat. And speak it up here. Number 1, interval notation. Everything except 1. So how would I write it in interval notation?
Bracket, negative infinity, comma, 1, parentheses, and then union, parentheses, 1, comma, infinity, comma.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah. When you say bracket at the negative infinity, you mean parentheses?
I messed up. Yeah, I don't know why I said, yeah, I should have said bracket. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Make my box a bit neater. Okay, that's it. So when I ask on the exam, you see at least one of these, right? I ask, well, what is find the domain of the rational function? You should just, all you do is set the bottom equal to 0, and then you solve as you solve an equation, and then at the end, don't forget to put the little slash. Okay. And if I ask you to do the interval notation, you know how, right? Simplify a rational expression. So the step is first you have to factor them if need be. If there is something that you can factor, then factor it, and then cross out all the common factors, right? So that's pretty simple. Okay? So for example, number one, we're gonna do term by term. So some identical term, right? So like term. So 15 and 21, they both numbers, they both constant. So we're gonna take care of that first. So 15 and 21, I can reduce to what? I'm gonna write out here. So 15 is 3 times 5. And then 21 is 3 times 7, right? So definitely I can take out the 5 and then the 7, right? And then the a to the 5th on the top, I'm gonna write it out. A times a. Should I do this? I don't want to do this. I'll do like this. It's a times a times a times a 5 times, right? And then the bottom a times a 2 times because a squared. So I can reduce what I can take out the 2a on the top and the 2 of the a's on the bottom, right? And then for the b, what do I have? B to the 4. B to the 4. Maybe I'll bring this one down here so I have more space. So it means time b, time b, time b, time b is 4 times on the top. And then the bottom, 5 times, right? Time b, time b, time b, time b, time b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, you can cross out 4 of them on the top, 4 of them on the bottom. So what's left? What's left is, oh, I don't know why I crossed out 5 and 7, my bad. I should have crossed out 3. What's wrong with me? So on the top, for the constant, what's left is 5 and 7, right? For the a, what is that? A times a times a, that's a cubed, right? So a cubed on the top. And for the b, there's 1 b left in the bottom. And that will be your final answer. Frankly, this is not the way I want you to write it out, right? I'll show you a, so this is called method 1. I'll show you the one that I want you to do. But if you don't want to, you can do method 1. I'm not objective to it. Just it's not productive. That's all. Okay, so 15 and 21, everybody know how to do that. So 5 over 7, right? A to the 5th and a squared. A to the 5th in the bottom, a squared in the I'm sorry, a to the 5th in the top, a squared in the bottom. So we have this rule called the exponential rule, right? If you have a to the m, of course they have to have the same base. So where do I write? I don't have any space to write. I think I do. Here, okay, I'll write here. If I have I'll use purple. If I have a to the m divided by a to the n, then it's equal to a to the m minus n. Right, so a to the 5th divided by a to a squared, so equal to a to the 5th minus 2. Minus 2, right? which is what? Which is 3, right? So 5, 7, rewrite this. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So a cubed. What about b? What about b? Which one is larger? B to the 4 or b to the 5th? B to the 5th, right? So they have a bigger exponent, so we're gonna subtract on the bottom. So it's gonna be b to the 5th minus 4 here. Right? B to the 5th minus 4. Well, you know what? Better yet, I'll do like this. I'm gonna leave it on the top. So it's gonna be b to the 4 minus 5. And that's okay. 4 minus 5 is -1. So I got b to the -1. So that I have another chance to introduce you another rule. If I have a to the negative m is equal to 1 over a to the m. You flip it and then you change the sign. That's all you do. You flip it because this is a to the negative m over 1, right? You flip it, so 1 over a to the n, and you get rid of the negative in the exponent. Okay. So if I flip b to the -1, it becomes what? 1 over b to the first, right? So 5 over 7, a to the cube, and then b to the first. We don't write b to the first, we just write b. I know it sounds more complicated than the first method, but as you do more, it's easier. Okay. So method 2. Let me see, hang on. So make sure you practice this, okay? I'll make sure you have one of these on the exam. So practice on your homework. All right, number 2, I have a polynomial now, right? A trinomial and then a binomial on the bottom. So x squared plus 3x plus 9. Do you think I can factor the top? Remember, your first step is completely factor. Do you think I can factor the top? Or is it prime? Can you find number that multiply give you 9 and add to 3?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. But how do you combine 6 and 3? No. 6 times 3 is not 9. Product is 9. And then the sum is 3. Two number multiplied to
Oh, I
get
see what you're
9.
saying.
Yeah, it's none, right? 1 times 9 or 3 times 3. But 1 times 9 is not going to add up to 3. But 3 times 3, those two not going to add up to 3 either, right? So none. So none. So that mean x squared plus 3x plus 9 is prime because you cannot factor, right? What about x cubed minus 27? Can you factor that? That's from your exam number 1. What is that? What is it?
27, can't you?
Huh?
You can cube root 27.
You can, let me change it, 27 into 3 cube. Difference of 2 cube from your exam 1 or something similar in your exam 1, right? Remember, you have a cube minus b cube is equal to what? A minus b times a squared plus a times b plus b squared. So this one will be what? Someone tell me what should I put here? What is your a? What is your b?
A is x, 3 is b.
Yeah, so plug it in. What is that?
X minus 3, x squared plus 3 times x. Well, x times 3
Yeah, or
plus
3 times x. Same
squared.
thing. Yeah. Mhm. Plus 3 squared, which is
3 squared is 9.
9. Yeah, a lot of people on the exam, they forgot when they do 5 squared, they forgot to turn it into 25. I don't take point off from it. Let's just remind you. If I do, let me know because I don't take off point from it. Okay, so that's the bottom. So the top is, let me write, the top is still x squared plus 3x plus 9 because you cannot do anything about it. The bottom is x minus 3 times x squared plus 3x plus 9. I see something in common. I see this and this. I can factor. I mean, I can cross it out, right? So what's left is what? I hope nobody says 0 on the top. What's left on the top? What's left on the top? Not 0.
1.
1, right? Because this is the same thing as time 1. Right? But I'm not gonna, of course, I'm not gonna write it. So 1 over x minus 3, and that will be your final answer. You guys try number 3 and put an answer in the chat. For number 3 on the top, I would factor out the GCF first. And then I factor more. That's why on the exam I give you a lot of factor problem because it's important. You're gonna factor for the rest of your life as long as you're taking math. Jacob, can you turn on your cam? It's such a long problem. I understand. All right, now we got one answer. Oh, that's just Jacob. False alarm. Let's see if you have the same thing I do for the top. Okay, for the top, I'm gonna factor out the 2. So what's left is x squared plus x minus 6. And then x squared plus x minus 6, you can factor more. So find 2 number, multiply is -6, add to 1. I see 3 and -2, right? X plus 3 and x minus 2. Everybody got that like I do? Yeah. All right, the bottom, there's no GCF. So, and then there's 4 terms. 4 term means group factoring. Okay, so I'm gonna group these two. So I can factor out x squared for the first group. So what's left is x plus 3. And I can factor -4 for the second group. What's left is x plus 3. should be the same, right? So x plus 3, that's another common factor. So now it's x plus 3 times x squared minus 4. Oh, let me see what you got. All right, Haya got 2 over x plus 2. Okay, is that about right? X squared minus 4, you can factor more, right? So let me rewrite the top, 2 times x plus 3 times x minus 2. And the bottom, x plus 3 stay the same. X squared minus 4, you can expand it into x minus 2, x plus 2. Oh, x plus 2, x minus 2 doesn't matter. Now I can simplify this one with this one, right? This one with this one. So what's left is 2 over x plus 2. Right, give yourself a bonus check mark higher. Very good. So of course, expect something like these on the exam, right? Very similar to the lecture. All right, so that is when I ask you to simplify. Now I'm going to ask you to multiply two rational and then simplify, right? So the step is the same thing, completely factor all the numerator and the denominator, cross out the factor, and then you multiply at the end. Okay, so it's very similar, it's just a bit longer, that's all. But let me remind you, when you multiply something, A over B times C over D, is you just multiply across. Right, so A times D, A times C over B times D. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so here this one, before I multiply, I'm gonna simplify first, right? Because that's the first step. A plus 6, nothing I can do about A plus 6, so leave it alone. What about A squared minus 16? You know, I'm gonna do like little bullet point. So A plus 6 is the same. I'm not gonna write A plus 6 because there's nothing I can do. What about A squared minus 16? Well, A squared minus 16 is the same thing as A squared minus 4 squared, right? Which is equal to A minus 4 times A plus 4, or A plus 4 times A minus 4, doesn't matter. And then next one would be 3A minus 12. I can factor out the 3, right? So be A minus 4. And the last one, 3A plus 18. I can factor out 3. What's left is A plus 6. And now I plug them back. I'm going to plug them back. So equal, let me write this in blue. So these are in blue. So A plus 6 stay the same over A minus 4 times A plus 4, okay, times 3 parenthesis A minus 4 over 3 parenthesis quantity of A plus 6. And now, of course, your favorite part, right? Take out your Zorro pen and then cancel the things. Right? So A minus 4 cancel. What else? A plus 6 and A plus 6. If it's more comfortable for you, you can put A plus 6 in the parenthesis like that on the top. And then I can also cancel the 3 and the 3, right? 3 and the 3. So what's left is, well, the top is everything pretty gone. What's left is just 1 on the top, right? Over A plus 4. I'm gonna do number 2. Yeah, I'm gonna do number 2 and you guys try number 3. We'll see if you cannot. Well, we have time. All right, number two. Bullet point again. M minus 2, nothing you can do about it, leave it alone. What about M squared plus M minus 6? Someone tell me how do I factor this?
Would you use product sum?
Yeah, product is -6, sum is 1. So m sum m. So what's next? Anyone?
Is it -2 and 3?
-2 and 3.
Three.
Yeah, -2 and 3. All right, someone else, m cubed plus 27. This is the same thing as m cubed plus 3 cubed. You have a binomial and a trinomial. Someone else tell me how to fill out this.
Is it m plus 3? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead,
You're
Mike.
getting it. Oh yeah, you were getting it. Yeah, m plus 3
Mhm.
times m squared plus 3m plus 3 squared.
Which is 9, right? You mean minus
Yeah.
3, right? Minus 3m.
Oh,
Remember soap, same opposite, always positive, right?
so
The thing that you use in your shower soap. Yeah. And then m plus 1, nothing I can do about it. It's already prime. So all I have to do is plug them back. So m minus 2 on the top. On the bottom, I have m minus 2 times m plus 3. If it bother you, you can put m minus 2 in the parentheses for the top. And then times the long thing. So m plus 3 times m squared minus 3m plus 9. The bottom m plus 1. Right. M plus 3, m plus 3, m minus 2, m minus 2. So your final answer will be m squared minus 3m plus 9 over m plus 1. Let's see if I can move this down. Okay. Right, you gotta try number 3. I'll give you a few minutes. Try it out. It's not hard. It's just take a little time. Do the bullet point like I do. I would recommend you do that. They look similar, don't they? In the meantime, I'm gonna take attendance. Attendance. Kevin is here. Ava's not here. Corey's here. Corey's not here. Kevin is here. Alex is here. Another Ava's not here. Curtis is here. Josh in Florida. Good for him. Jacob is here. Reagan is not here. Catlin. I don't know what these people is. I'm gonna check my thing and delete them because ooh, Alex got the answer. 2p minus 1 over p plus 2. Good for you, Alex. But we'll check the answer. Hiya here. Mike's here. Kobe's here. Taylor's here. Taylor. Your name wrong. Sorry. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Anyone have an answer? All right, let's see. Okay, so 2p squared minus 5p. Should I do bullet point or just go ahead and maybe the first one, maybe just the first one. 2p squared minus 5p minus 3. So I want the sum to be, let's do the product first. Product to be -3, and then sum to be -1. I'm sorry, darn it. The product to be 2 times -3 is 6, -6. Forgot about the 2 there. So 2 times -3 is -6. Okay, so what is it? What do you think? -6 and +1, right? The -6 times 1 is -6, -6 plus 1 is -5. So this is equal to 2p squared minus 6p plus 1p minus 3. Equal, you group factoring, you group this and you group this. So I got the first one, I can factor out 2p. So I have p minus 3 left, plus factor out the 1, p minus 3. And then again, factor p minus 3. What's left is 2p plus 1. For the second and third, you do the same thing, right? Second and third, you do the same. So let me rewrite this one. I have p minus 3 and then 2p plus 1. Put this down a little bit. All right, someone factor the bottom for me. P squared minus 9. So it should be easy. Kobe, you want to factor the bottom?
I haven't understood a single thing this whole class period.
Oh yeah, you were late. So we just simplify it. So what we do is the little group right here. All you do is you break them apart. And by doing that, using factor, right? Well, you missed the factor. I don't blame you because you missed that lecture. So you want to review the factors video lecture, okay? Yeah. Sorry about that, Kobe. I forgot. Yeah, my bad. Someone else. P squared minus 9 is.
So p squared, 9 squared is 3 squared, right? So it would be p plus 3 times p minus 3.
Very good. Thank you. Does anyone have the one on the top right? 2p squared plus 5p minus 3 or not yet? Except for. So 2 number is So here, I'm gonna do the guess and check method. I recommend you do the AC method, okay? The one I just did in the blue right there, that's AC method. So guess and check, let me see. I'm gonna do 2P and P. Again, so 2P and P here. And I want -3, so I'm gonna put -3 here and +1 here, just to see, right? I'm gonna check the middle, the inner and the outer. So inner 1 times P is P, and then 2P times -3 is -6P, which is give me -5P, which is not good. I want +5P. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this plus and give this minus. Let's see, -P here, and now I have -P, and then 2P times +3 is +6P, so 6P minus P is 5P. Okay, so I'm good. So that's called guess and check, okay? If you're wrong, you just switch thing around again. So let me clean this up. So this should be minus, and this should be plus. And same thing, I'm gonna do guess and check here. When you're good at the factoring, you can do guess and check. If you're not good, I recommend AC method. So 2P and P again, because 2P times P is 2P squared. And then I gotta know where to put the 2 and where to put the 1, because 2 number multiply to give me 2, right? So I cannot put the 2 here, right? Because if I put the 2 there, I gotta factor out the 2. So so it's just common sense, right? I'm gonna put the 2 here and then the 1 here. And then it had to be both plus, either both plus or both minus, because you want +2, but it should be plus because the middle one is 5P, right? So let's check the inner. Inner 1 times P is P, outer 2P times 2 is 4P, so 4P plus 1P is 5P, so I'm good. Now you can cancel stuff. This is my favorite part. And then what else? P minus 3, P minus 3, and then P plus 3, P plus 3, and then that's it. And then that's it. And then the answer will be 2P minus 1 over P minus 2. Now, before I move on, let me make a note here. Don't write this down. Or maybe you want to write this down. Caution. For example, if I have say x plus 1 over x plus 2, a lot of people do this. They cancel the x like that. You cannot do that, right? You cannot do that because the x being attached to the 1 and the x being attached to the 2, those are married. Do not break up a marriage. Otherwise, I'm gonna write home break on your exam. Okay, so when you have something like that, you cannot cancel, right? You only be able to cancel if they are x plus 1 over x plus 1. They're the same thing, right? You cancel them out. But when you attach to a different number, you cannot cancel them individually, right? So this is not equal to, I hope nobody say equal to 1/2, not equal to 1/2, that's wrong, right? So please do not do that on the exam. You cannot cancel them individually if they being add or subtract to some number, okay? All right, now we divide. It's the same thing with multiply, but the extra step is you have to flip them first. That's all. So the first thing we do, we flip them. So this is equal to a squared minus 9, to rewrite this, a squared minus 49 times, flip the second fraction, so times a plus 7 over a plus 3. That's the only extra step you do. And now it's the same thing as multiplying the rational expression, right? So let's simplify group by group, right? So oops. A squared minus 9, I can factor at a plus 3 times a minus 3. The bottom is what? A squared minus 49. Somebody factor this for me.
A plus 7, a minus 7.
Right, thank you both, Devin and Haya. A plus 7 a minus 7. And then the second fraction, nothing I can do, so we write it as a plus 7. Make sure you write the one that you flipped, right? A plus 3. So a plus 3 cancel. What else? A plus 7 cancel. Again, if you uncomfortable, put the parenthesis around those two. Now I have a minus 7. I'm sorry, a minus 3 on the top over a minus 7, which is equal to negative 3 over 7, which is equal to 3/7. Is it correct?
No.
No, right? Thank you, Mike. Please do not do that. That's bad. That's bad. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Right? Just make sure you pay attention. So that's it. You're done. Don't do anything else. You're done. Remember, it's being attached to the negative 3 and negative 7. Those two are different things. So leave them alone. Let me rewrite my a so it look like a 9. Yeah, leave it alone. Do not cancel the a. Right, last one and we done. Last one and then we'll be done. First thing first, you flip. Even on the exam, you don't know how to factor, and you flip it for me for the first set, I still give you 1 point. I say this one out like 5 point, and you flip them, just flip them, you still get 1 point out of 4. Okay. So every little thing helps. So equal a y squared minus 14y minus 15 over 6y squared minus 11y minus 10 times 3y squared minus 7y minus 6 over 4y squared minus 7y, minus 9y. Minus 9. All right, this one is kind of.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Is this off of a 7.1 lecture note? Because I can't find it at all.
Oh, I didn't post it on. Did I post it on, people?
I don't see it anywhere on the lecture note.
Oh, let me see. I thought I did it last night. No.
Well, there was 2 posted, but I like picked out and printed out like the top one.
It's on the. It's in the Moodle. It's in Moodle. Right here. Let me click on it. Yeah, it's right there on Moodle.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't find it in mine, and I printed out the right one because it's 7. It says 7/1, and it says like today's date.
Yeah, 7.1.
It must have been a glitch or something, because yeah, I got mine printed out. I did say it popped out on mine when I printed mine.
Okay. All right. But thank you for checking me. I appreciate it. Everything happens. It's technology. It's great when it works. Okay, so almost there. Just bear with me for like 3 more minutes. So I have 8y squared minus 14y minus 15. So the sum is what? The sum is, let me do the product first, always product first. So product is 8 times negative 15. What is that? 8 times 5 is 4, or 0, 40, so 0, 5, so 120. So negative 120. And then the sum is negative 14. Can you find 2 number? Multiply negative 120 and then add to negative 14. Let me see. Is there one? I hope I don't copy down the wrong one. That'll suck. Anyone? 6 and negative 20, right? 6 times negative 20 is negative 125, and 6 plus negative 20 is negative 14. So this is equal to 8y squared plus 6y minus 20y minus 15, or you can do minus 20y plus 6y later, doesn't matter. And now you group factoring. Now you group the 2 and group the 2. So you got what? I can factor out the 2y for the first group. So 2y, what's left? What's left is 4y plus 3. And then I can factor out minus 5 for the second group. And what's left is 4y plus 3 again, right? So I have 4y plus 3 times 2y minus 5. Okay, let me write this down. 4y plus 3 times 2y minus 5. And then the bottom one, what do you think? The bottom one, let's see. I'm gonna do guess and check. Okay, you can do the. I'm gonna do a guess and check now because we're running out of time. You go ahead and do the AC method. Okay. So I have 6y squared. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 3y and then 2y. Usually the 2 closer in number works, right? Somebody else can do 6y and y. So and then the negative 10 is gonna be negative 5 and positive 2. Let's see. I cannot put positive 2 here because that I had to factor out the 2, right? So negative 5 must be here, and then positive 2 must be here. And now check. Let's check the inner. We only check the inner. Negative 2 times 2y is 4y, and then 3y minus 5 is negative 15. Negative 15 plus 4 is negative 11y. So we're good. Times. Let's see, this one, 4y squared, I'm gonna write it as 2y times 2y. If it doesn't work, then we change it to 4y and y. And then the 9, the negative 9 is gonna be negative 3 and positive 3. All right, let's check. Minus 3 times 2y is negative 6y. And then 2y times 3 is positive 6y. Oh, cannot do that. It'd be 0, which we don't want, right? So I have to change it. I have to change it again. I have to change it into, say, 4y and y. And then I have negative 3 and positive 3 here. Okay, check again. We're gonna check again. 3y and negative 12y, that's negative 9y. So yay, that worked. That's what they call guess and check. It's annoying. But if you're good, it's faster than the AC method. 3y squared. So the only possibility is 3y times 1y, right? Times 1y. 3y times 1y is 3y squared. And then the negative 6 is you're gonna have, I'm gonna either you have negative 1, positive 6. Yeah, a bunch of combination, right? I'm gonna do negative 2 and positive 3 just to see. Negative 2 here, positive 3 here. I cannot put positive 3 here, right? Because I have to factor out the 3. And then let's check. Negative 2 times 1y is negative 2y. And then this one, negative 3y times 3 is positive 9y, which is positive 7y. But I want minus what? I want minus 7y. You know what I did? I forgot to flip. I look back on the problem. Well, anyway, let's just factor this first. So so I had to change the sign. So minus 3 and then plus 2. Okay. But again, I forgot. This should be on the top. My bad. Should be on the top. So let me rewrite this. Hang on with me. Let me write down here so I don't forget. So 3y plus 2 times y minus 3 over 4y plus 3. It should be this way. It should be flipped. Okay, all right, now we cancel things. This and this, 4y plus 3, 4y plus 3, y minus 3, y minus 3, 2y minus 5, 2y minus 5. Wow, and then 3y plus 3, 2, 3y plus 2, so everything. So 1 over 1, which is 1. I'm sorry if you're a little confused about the guess and check method, but you can, I would recommend you when you're home, try the AC method yourself, okay? All right. Is there any question? Thank you for staying with me for another 7 minutes. I appreciate it. Is there any other question? All right, if not, we'll call it we're done for the day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 again on Zoom. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I'm
Hello?
definitely gonna go over
Yeah.
the factoring.
Okay, good, Kobe. Yeah, I will on your exam, you did very well except for the factoring because you missed the class. I understand. Yeah,
Right.
everything else you did very well, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Well, I'll go over that and hopefully I can get this afterwards.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
You too. Bye, Kobe.
Hi, I have a quick question before you leave.
Yeah.
So I had a little brain fart, and I don't know why, but I woke up today and thinking class was at 10, not 9. I guess it's because it was on
That's okay.
Zoom. It messed me up.
Yeah.
So you put your lecture recordings on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that makes sense because when I got to class, I saw